If I'm being completely honest, there's often times where I'll just sit here and I'll hit record and then I'll realize, oh shit, I need to do this, I need to do that, I didn't build this, I didn't wick this, I have to get the thing, I have to do the retro. So there's like sometimes up to 15 or 20 minutes of video that you will never see. And this is part of it. I did that. I just did that. I've been recording right now and doing stuff, and then I looked up and I saw the little blinking red light and I go, oh shit, I guess it's vlog time. All right, well, hello and welcome and hello. Today is Thursday, which means that it is vlog day. And yeah, you know what? This is a daytime vlog, no big deal. We've got a really busy weekend this weekend with ECC coming up. I have to spend a lot of this week prepping for that event. We don't have a booth there, but I rented us an Airbnb house. All my friends are coming out to California to visit. It's going to be so unbelievably amazing, but I only have a 3-day work week, so I'm like scrambling to get all this stuff done. I have stuff to get in the mail to people, vape stuff for people to get in the mail. I have all this stuff to do. It's the holidays, so I'm like Christmas shopping and wrapping presents and sending stuff in the mail, and then I'm like plowing through these emails and blah blah blah, and we're trying all, you know, we got all this stuff to do with the FDA and the TPD and EU and it's just a lot. So sometimes I have to shoot my vlog during the day, and this is one of those such vlogs. The only thing we're not going to have this week is a beer segment. Just because my schedule is, sometimes even during the day vlogs, I'm able at night to like have a beer and do the beer segment, but that's not the case. As soon as I'm done shooting this, I have to edit it right away and save it right away and upload it right away. I'm on a very tight time frame today. So unfortunately this week there is not going to be any beer, but with lack of beer, we're going to make up for in first impressions. We're going to have some shout outs. I do have some news for the top of the program. There is going to be a retro vaping segment this week, as I posted on my Instagram account. And there's also going to be a review for things that never got reviewed this week. And we also have a bunch of favorite comments of the week. So good. I mean, good. This is going to be a really good vlog. I'm suddenly much more optimistic than I was when I pressed record. So real quick, just before we get to any news, I wanted to address some of the comments on my troll doll wicking technique video. People were really mean, and that's fine. Like I have pretty thick skin. People are mean all the time on the internet. What are you gonna do? You adapt and you move forward on with your life. There was a lot of really sort of negative comments on that troll doll video, like, oh, Grimm, this is how we've been wicking shit forever now. Blah, welcome to the club. And like, that's cool too. I just did that video because a lot of people were asking about it. And so rather than daily answering emails and saying, okay, well, yeah, if you go to my Goblin Mini 2 video, you can see, you know, during the uppy closey portion, this is how I do the troll doll technique. So I know it's not unique. I know I'm not special. I know I didn't invent that. I know I didn't make it up. I know it's not something that I created. It's just a technique that I found that works really, really well. And I wanted other people to have a similar really good vaping experience. So I did the troll doll wicking technique, and that's cool. If you don't use it, then don't watch it. And if you already knew about it, then you're not my key demographic for that video. You have to remember that there are people who are just today getting into vaping who might not be aware of how to even do a round wire build, how to build a fuse Clapton, or how to wick their RTA. That video is for them. If it's not for you, then you just don't watch it and then you move on with your life. There's no reason to watch it and then just be an asshole in the comments. This is for people who obviously aren't you. Okay? So cool. I mean, I don't get it. I just didn't get it. I was kind of taken back. I was caught off guard. But anyway, yeah, that's who that video is for, and it's for new people who might not know how to wick an RTA. It's just a technique that I found that works really well. So no big deal. That's what it's for. So I don't know who sent me this article, but it comes from a website called Kingdom Vapor, wholesale vaping supplies. And they sell vaping stuff, mods, starter kits, tanks, addies, coils, e-liquid, accessories, and contact us. Anyway, I was just looking at their website. I don't remember who sent me this, but they made a blog post on their website that says Kingdom Vapor versus the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I'm just going to read through this whole thing. It's a couple paragraphs, and it's basically what it is. I'm just going to read it to you. As many of you know, on July 13th, 2016, a 40% tax on vapor products was passed into law in Pennsylvania. Yes, this happened. The law took effect October 1st and caused serious damage to small business in Pennsylvania. Unlike most other states that received a tax solely on e-liquid, Pennsylvania legislators also included vapor hardware. What? Since the passage of this tax, the Department of Revenue has interpreted a very vague and ill-written law as nearly all components of hardware being taxable. This has caused widespread confusion throughout the industry because many people believe the actual law and the Department of Revenue's interpretations are far from the same. In preparation for the tax taking effect, Kingdom Vapor contacted Lindsay Law Firm to get a lawyer's interpretation of the knowledge and to gain knowledge on what products are actually taxable. Upon recommendation of our lawyers, we determined what products are taxable, non-taxable, and defendable. We are very confident that the products we are collecting tax on are accurate and well within the scope of the law. Kingdom Vapor has been considering a lawsuit since the passage of the tax, but it delayed it with the hopes of HB 2342 passing, which would amend the 40% tax to 5 cents per milliliter only on e-liquid. Since then, we have decided to pursue this matter to the end. We have retained the Lindsay Law Firm of Butler, PA for a lawsuit against the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in regards to the 40% tax on vapor products. We will be filing for preliminary injunction, declaratory judgment, and if possible, the elimination of the tax altogether. So yeah, wow, there you go. Kingdom Vapor has lawyered up. They have hired the Lindsay Law Firm of Butler, Pennsylvania, and they are literally filing a lawsuit against the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania regarding their obscene and ridiculous 40% tax on vapor products. And according to this, not just e-liquids. In California, we had Proposition, I can't even remember, Prop 56, Prop 64, which one was the prop? Which prop? Proposition 56 passed, which is going to tax nicotine as tobacco products. I don't believe it's going to tax hardware? Am I wrong? Does somebody know more than me? Chances of that are pretty good. I don't believe it's going to tax hardware, but this law in Pennsylvania, yeah, it taxes hardware. They go on to say anyone that has received warnings, violations, or fines from the DOR, please forward copies of them to info@kingdomvapor.com, as this may help in preparing this lawsuit. If there are any manufacturers, distributors, or retailers who would like to join the lawsuit as a class action, please email or call for more information. We are planning to have this filed in early December. We will continue to update with more information and the final court date as soon as possible. Kingdom Vapor. So any vendors, vapors, manufacturers, distributors in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, email them. It's info@kingdomvapor.com. Email them. Get on board with this if you want to. If you feel like this is something that you feel is going to be constructive, if it's something you think you can get on board with, then absolutely email them. I think it's great. I think you should constantly be fighting. I mean, no. Okay. Let me rephrase. Let me back up a second, stop stumbling, and say what I want to say. Ultimately, in an ideal society, no, you would not have to be filing lawsuits against state and local governments. In an ideal society, no, you would not have to be filing lawsuits against the federal government. Unfortunately, in this particular world that we live in, we are constantly fighting the government. Constantly fighting the government. And this just isn't a vape thing. This isn't just something that's regulated or relegated to just vaping. But vapors are affected by this, and we are always constantly fighting the government. Constantly fighting the government. And I this seems like a really good thing to me. This company is lawyering up. They're saying, this is ridiculous. We're not going to stand for it. We're not going to take this shit anymore. Here's a nice little lawsuit for you, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you to whomever sent that to me. I don't remember. I usually write down a name, but I didn't even write down a name. I do have some more news here from a fella named David. David sent me over this link to the Facebook group regulatorwatch.com, and it looks to be based out of Canada because the dot in .com is a maple leaf. They are always posting articles and news stories about vaping, about how the government is coming down on vaping, and he sent me this little video here. It's like 8 minutes long, so I'm not going to post the whole thing, but it's a really good video. They're talking about basically the war on vaping. And of course, the war on vaping that they're talking about, this is something that was in my bro trip video. If anybody didn't watch the last bro trip video, just go back and watch it. But we talk about the city of Pasadena and their new ad campaign regarding vaping. And it's basic, I mean, it's the most offensive thing that I've run across as a vapor. You know, as a vapor, whatever, you get ridiculed a lot. People are like, oh, look at that guy and his douche flute. Oh, look at that guy who will never get laid. Oh, he's a vapor. He must be this, that, and the other. And where's your fedora? And I don't really care about 100% of that. But this new ad campaign that the city of Pasadena has put out there, it is super offensive. Super offensive. They have these big posters with people that look like they have photoshopped sheep on their faces and they're exhaling vapor, and it says, don't follow the herd. Vaping's side effects are unknown. Stupid sheep. The city of Pasadena is calling you a stupid sheep. This is funded by tax dollars. The government is funding this. The California government is funding this through tax dollars to call their citizens, their own citizens, stupid sheep. The taxes that I paid to the state of California are now being used in an ad campaign to call me a stupid sheep. I feel like more than vapors should be upset about this. I mean, genuinely upset about this, that's what your tax dollars are going to. If you have a free minute, go back and watch the bro trip. There's a great scene. I don't remember exactly where it is, but I told Dwayne about this and he just got instantly fired up. He's like, I'm going to call him right now. And he was like so worked up. He was shaking, and he calls him on the phone, and you know, they gave him the runaround. Basically, they're like, what's your complaint? What do you have? And so he does this whole thing, and then they're like, okay, well, I'm going to transfer you to this person. And then they say, hello, what's your complaint? And he gives them this whole thing, and they say, okay, well, would you like to leave a message for my supervisor? You're goddamn right, I want to leave a message for your supervisor. So he did just that, and I would encourage everybody. I'm going to put the phone number up here at the bottom of the screen for the city of Pasadena that you can call if you're in California, especially if you're in the city of Pasadena and you're upset by this city calling vapors stupid sheep, which you should be upset about. Stupid sheep. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just blows my mind. I want to post a link down in the description to Regulator Watch Facebook group. You can watch this video regarding the city of Pasadena's ad campaign. I'm going to show you the phone number one more time. You get on the phone, call the city of Pasadena, and just, good Lord. I mean, I wouldn't even know what to say. Every time I think about it, I get so worked up that I have a feeling I would just yell obscenities at them. But that is not the way to go. We have to be calm. We have to be professional. We have to be respectful. We have to be better than them. We can't call them names because they're calling us names. We have to be better than them. So yeah, thank you, David, for sending that my way. I don't really have any more news. As you're watching this video, if it's on a Thursday, I'm gone. So responses to comments are going to be slow and few and far between. I'm gone at ECC at this time. I'm going to be there all the way through the 5th of December. I'm going to be back for a week, and then I'm gone to New York City for another week. Me and the Pickle, we're getting on a plane. We're going to New York City to see our friends and to watch Star Wars for Christmas. And I think it's going to be a really great time. I'm going to try to have as much possible content during this time as I possibly can, including Tuesday Bro Tuesdays, possible random reviews, and possibly a vlog. So before we move forward to anything else, I do really quickly want to just talk about, I don't know, what I've been vaping. So just a few things that I have been vaping. This freaking ugly thing. I like you vaping with Twisted 420. Hope you come back to YouTube at some point. I know you've been off doing your reality TV show. I hope that was good for you. This box, iJoy Vaping with Twisted 420, the RDTA box. It's a dual series 18650 regulated mod where the whole top of this, all of this right here, is a tank, and then you have like an RDTA deck on top. This is full of the blue slushy from Ruby Crew. I feel like with this, I've just been plowing through juice. Like, I would open it and like squeeze a bunch of juice in there and to fill it up. And lately I've been opening this up and just popping the top off of the juice bottle and like boom, 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 like no dripper at all, just pouring juice in there. But I really like it. I have a spaced dual fuse Clapton in here. The flavor that I'm getting from it is nice. It's about on level with the 24mm RDA, and I just really like vaping this for some reason. Secondly, I just can't put this thing down. It's the Honey Badger mod that I bought at Dallas Vape Showcase from Kudzu. I've got it topped with the Hadley RDA with that material drip tip cap on top that I can never remember the name of what it is, and I know people are going to tell me what it is in the comments, but I can't ever remember the name of what this material is. It's a very super rigid, solid plastic material. Anyway, Hadley RDA, I have a 24 gauge round wire build in here. It came out to 0.75 ohms, which I love on a DNA 75, single battery DNA 75, because I can rock it at 35 watts, gives me plenty of power, gives me 5 volts, and it doesn't give me any battery warning. I've had Grimm Yig in here for about, I don't know, 2 months worth of re-wicking. This is a vape that I brought with me to VaporCon East, and I brought it purely because the flavor is so good in this Hadley RDA, and it makes, I mean, Yig has never tasted better than it does in this. So good, so freaking good. So I'm hanging in there with the Rig V3. Now this is a different Rig V3 than I posted on Instagram. It's topped with the M-Turk RDA, and I've been rocking M-Turk's juice as well. This is definitely, without a doubt, a setup I'm going to be bringing to ECC. I have loved using a single 18650 mech mod again. I have a build on here from Turk himself. Wish the airflow was adjustable on this RDA. Airflow is not adjustable on this RDA. I wish it was, and I wish the drip tip was a little bit different. I mean, this isn't barely even a drip tip. It looks cool. It's super low pro, and I don't mind using it, but maybe something a little bit more traditional. Like if this was just a little bit taller, like even just a few millimeters taller in there, I think I'd be enjoying it a lot more. But with that said, I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit. This is a black one. This is a dumb story that doesn't matter, and it's going to take too long. I swapped this out. I originally had the red on black to match the red on black, but I kind of like the black a lot more, and M-Turk's like, oh, I have a black one here if you want to swap it out. And I was like, if you could, that would be amazing. I really like the black with the red on black. I think it just looks cooler. It makes the rig look cooler. And this is number 13, which is also just kind of really cool. But I got that Turk-ish blend from M-Turk. It's a butterscotch custard. Delicious. I mean, this is a great vape. Really, really tasty juice. Also, what I've been vaping, this was actually just featured in the last Tuesday Bro Tuesday, that Praxis Vapors Banshee. I got my Freak Show version 2 on there, which I'm evaluating for Tuesday Bro Tuesday. I got it loaded up with Anarchist Purple, the purple grape bubblegum flavor. It's freaking delicious. I have this set to 70 watts. It's 0.3. I have the Freak Show version 2 on bottom airflow only, and stellar. It's just a stellar vape. really enjoy that vape. But yeah, that's all. That's basically what I've been vaping. A lot of my vape stuff is already packed up, ready to go for ECC. So this is what's left. This is what I've been vaping, and I have been enjoying all of those. In fact, I might throw that Hadley Honey Badger Yig combo in my pack to take with me to ECC, because I just can't be without that flavor for too long. So normally right now we'd go to the beer segment, but this week there is going to be no beer segment. I'm terribly sorry. If you have a beer, please still open your beer. Please still enjoy your beer with me. But right now we're going to jump right into some shout outs. It is shout out time. So yeah, I got a couple shout outs I want to do here. First and foremost, I want to give a very big fucking awesome thank you, Merry Christmas shout out to the Namber Juice Facebook group. It is a wonderful group of people. We do the Metal Monday, which I always listen to all those. I don't post in there as often as I'd like. I try to be in that group as much as possible when I'm on Facebook, but there's a lot of stuff that slips by me. It's a great group of people. Everybody's super mellow. Everybody's nice and chill. There's no burping. There's no, infighting or drama or anything like that. People post their mods, people post liquids and hand checks and ask questions. The Namber Juice group is always the first people to know about any promos or sales we have going on, and it's just a really cool group of people, and I can't even list all of the names, but if you're a member of the Namber Juice group on Facebook, boom, you're getting my first shout out of the vlog. You are all freaking awesome. Keep being awesome, and I just like it. I really like that group. So let's do a couple shout outs. I got one here that's labeled as an urgent shout out. A fellow named Graham sent me an email, and he said, hey Nick, I sent this to Facebook, so I apologize for spam. I hope you're well. I know you're crap with doing shout outs on time. Sorry. I know you're crap with doing shoutouts on time, but I want to get one for my girlfriend. Heather has supported me through the loss of my dad, who died sadly on Wednesday, the 9th of November. I'm not after sympathy, as I've had plenty of that, and quite honestly, I need to move on now. Through the whole time, she fetched and carried me from the hospital, work, and home without question. She remained at my side to support me and make sure I was as okay as can be. Without her, I would be nothing. I may have lost my dad, but I have found safety and comfort knowing Heather is here with me. That's pulling at my heartstrings. Absolutely, Graham, you are shouted out. Your girlfriend Heather is shouted out, and your dad, may he rest in peace, is also absolutely shouted out. Bump that fist right there. I'm so sorry about your loss. I can't even pretend to know what that's like. My dad is alive and well, and I cherish every time I get to talk to him, because death is, it's just as big a part of life as living is. So I hope you can move forward. It sounds like you have a great girl in Heather, and absolutely, you're all shouted out. Got another shout out here from a fella named Davey. He writes to me and says, I was contacting you today because my brother Lucas started vaping a year and a half ago, and ever since he has watched your channel on YouTube religiously. Well, his birthday is coming up on December 30th. Woo, I'm actually on time for this. And I've been deciding what to get him for his birthday, but I have no money. And I also know how much he loves your channel. So it seemed like the perfect idea to ask for a shout out for him. I really appreciate it. I know he would love it. Thank you for your time. Absolutely. Boom. Davey, you are shouted out. But more importantly, the birthday boy Lucas, definitely shouted out. Thank you for watching my channel. I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope you have a really good, super rockin', happy, rad, super duper, great, awesome, great, really good birthday, Lucas. You got a good brother there in Davey, and I just, happy birthday. I wish you the best. Consider yourself absolutely shouted out. David writes to me and says, hey Nick, you can use my name in this email. My name is David, and I met you at VCC Tampa. We had a heart-to-heart about my past heroin addiction and about the guy that came to the vape con just to meet you and then shortly passed. Anyway, this shout out is to my lovely wife and now soon to be mother of my daughter in 10 days. Our daughter will be here on July 21st. She helped me through so much. She is not a vapor, but supports my choice to quit smoking for the longevity of our family. Her name is Melissa, and our daughter's is Gianna. Without your help and hers, I couldn't have done it. Much love, Nick. If you can do the shout out, I understand you are extremely busy. Yes, this was a really old shout out, and I like, you know what? I am a romantic. I'm a romantic guy. I love a good love story, and you know, I like people overcoming adversity, and I like the underdog, and I like people conquering their fears and doing what they want to do and what they should do and being proud of themselves for it. So absolutely, David, you are definitely shouted out. And your wife, whose name is Melissa, you are shouted out, and your daughter is also shouted out as well. You guys are all shouted out. I hope you're a happy family. I love a good love story, and you guys are absolutely awesome. So the last shout out we're gonna do this week is from Mark. Mark writes to me and says, "Hello, Nick. My name is Mark, and I manage a vape shop in Tokyo, Japan. You can use my name." Thank you, Mark. Mark. I'm writing you for the chance of getting a shout out in one of your Thursday vlogs. I want to let you know that the Japanese vaping community is alive and strong. Even though the Japanese government restricts all sales of nicotine-infused juices and tobacco is still considered the norm here, we are still smallish in numbers but resilient towards our cause of educating the public about the wonders of vaping. I also represent an organization of vape shops, vape distributors, and producers. We have formed together to create Vapors Day Off, an ongoing vape event that we organize all over Japan. It is always free to come in as long as we get non-vapors or smokers to be slightly curious about vaping. We consider that an instant success. So there's a website, vaporsdayoff.com. Hope you can tell people who live in Japan to join us, because obviously it's always better to vape with other people. If you ever decide to visit us in Japan, you're always welcome to participate and meet your fans here. I try to watch your vlogs in the shop when I can. The Japanese people are always asking me why I'm watching Seth Rogen. I get that. I get the Seth Rogen comparison so much. Like, it's a ridiculous amount that people think that I look like Seth Rogen, and so cool. Yeah, Seth Rogen. Shout out to the whole of Japan. Every vapor in Japan, especially you, Mark, and your shop and your Vapors Day Off event. I'll post a link down in the description. If I have any viewers in Japan and you want to go to Vapors Day Off, then boom, I have a link down in the description for you for Vapors Day Off. But absolutely, Mark, you are definitely 100% shouted out. So, what are we going to do now? What comes after shout-outs? I think it's time to dig in deep into some first impressions. All right, well, let's do some freaking first impressions, everybody. Am I in focus? I always fuck this part up. Ugh. Anyway, I think I'm in focus. So the first thing I want to do a first impressions on is this guy right here. This came from Joytech, and this is the Cuboid 200, and it is a triple 18650 flaskish looking device. It's really oddly shaped, man. So you put the middle one in positive side down, and then you put the two on the right positive side up. It's kind of like the Rouleau. Remember when the Rouleau, you put the two in the back with the positive sides down, and then the one in the front with the positive side up? It's basically the same thing. I don't enjoy the door on this at all. It's like a separate unit thing that you have to awkwardly push in here, and it's difficult to get it in, to get it to snap all together right, but there, I got it. Thankfully, I have the Dyad RDA, which is a 22 millimeter RDA, because the diameter of the Cuboid 200 is 22 millimeters, which in 2016, I feel like everything is 24 millimeters and up on the outer diameter, and so it seems so bizarre that Joytech would release this as a 22 millimeter. If it was a 24 millimeter, it would feel even bigger than it does, but it feels big and heavy and hefty in your hand. It feels heavy. But like I said, I have this topped with the Dyad RDA. I got a quick little Ruby Roo build in here. It's a 22 gauge. I mean, it's not a legit Ruby Roo build. We all know what the Ruby Roo build is, but this is close. I basically call any round wire build now a Ruby Roo build, but this is a 8-wrap 22 gauge around a 2.5 millimeter post. Came out to 0.22 ohms. I have it rocking at 82 watts right now. It's nice. The button's nice and clicky. It kind of reminds me, this whole mod kind of reminds me of a bigger Noisy Cricket V2, but this one has a display on top. Display on top and up-down buttons, and it has individual graphics for graphics? Sure, it has individual indicators for the battery, so you can see this battery, this battery, this battery, like what the levels are of your 3 different batteries. This is the same pair of batteries, or I don't know, triple batteries, the same 3 batteries that I was using in the Relo back in the day. I kept them as a 3-pack, and I didn't know why, I just did it, but I believe that now it was destiny. They were meant to go in the Cuboid 200, but destiny and fate aside, let's give it a vape. Really nice, plenty of power. I don't know how I feel about this mod yet. It's just awkward. I have normal human-sized male hands, and this feels big to me. It feels big in my hand, and I realize on camera it doesn't look that big, but when I hold it in my hand, every time I think, wow, that is really big. It just feels big, especially when I'm used to holding, like, you know, the Lost Vape, the Therian. See how much smaller that is? Or the Praxis. See how much smaller that is? My thumb can touch this finger. Look at the size of this. It's gigantic. I guess my thumb can still touch the finger. It just feels so much bigger than it really is. It's just because it's so wide. You're fitting 3 batteries in there. It just feels so wide. The juice I have in here from Adore. I got some more Adore e-liquid, pardon me, caramel apple crisp juice, and it's quite delicious in 6 milligram. I'm trying to get back up to 6 milligram thanks to you, Twisted Messes, but I'm trying. It's a nice vape. It's just big and it's heavy. I'm not going to explore the, like, you know, temperature control stuff. I rarely use temperature control. It looks like it has nickel, and that's it. Nickel, and then you can do a custom TCR. Interesting. No titanium support, no stainless steel support, although you can get that through the custom TCR, but I've just been rocking it in power mode. I've taken 153 puffs on this because the mod tells me so. So yeah, I guess my first impressions with this would be it's big. It feels big and it's heavy. It is a freaking paperweight. Remember the Ohmsmium, the full stainless steel Ohmsmium? That thing was heavy. This thing, super, super duper heavy. It's just a heavy thing, and I hate that it's 22 millimeters. There's so many things I'd like to put on this, but you're gonna have this huge overhang. If you put a 24 or like a Twisted Messes 30 millimeter atomizer on here, it's gonna hang out all over the place. Thankfully, I do have the Dyad RDA, and it fits on there, and it's 22 millimeters, and it looks pretty good on there. I don't know the price of this. It doesn't have the price on this. It just says Cuboid 200. It comes in gray, silver, and black. Other things, 22 millimeters, other things, maximum output with triple cells, reverse polarity, preheat function for advanced vaping. Cuboid 200 comes with the fashionable preheat function, which allows the device to start at a high output for a few seconds to warm up. This is especially essential when using an RDA, RTA, or ceramic heads. No price. There's no price. There's no shop. There's no price on this. Hang on, I gotta do some Google Foo to figure out the price on this. Okay, so vape sourcing, which I have never heard of before, they have it in pre-sale right now, $39. Sure, 39 bucks. 39 bucks for a triple 18650 200 watt device. I'm assuming that with 3 18650s, this might actually be a full, like, true 200 watt device, and they don't have to use any buck boosting or anything to smooth out the signal. I've only been rocking it at 82 watts. I rarely go above 100 watts. So like a 100 watt device or a 150 watt device is generally pretty perfect for me. But yeah, that's the Cuboid 200W. Let's move on. What else do I have here in the first impressions? Oh, the Goblin Mini V3. Oops. So I have been a huge fan of the U'd Goblin Mini series. I like the Goblin Mini and I really like the Goblin Mini V2. So I was really excited to get the Goblin Mini V3. What I did is I built it. Velocity style deck on the inside. That's a fused Clapton in there. I'm just gonna fiddle with these coils. Nope, it's even too big for that Cuboid 200W. I'll put it on the Finder 75, or not the Finder 75. What am I doing right now? I'm gonna put this on the Lost Vape Therion DNA 75 and make sure that those coils are glowing well. Double check the resistance, 0.27. Eventually, they're gonna get there, 45 watts. It's a little slow ramp up. They're glowing really well. I haven't yet wicked this. One of my favorite features of the old Goblin Minis, the Goblin Mini and the Goblin Mini version 2, was the split chimney. You could use the troll doll technique and wick it really super easily. Unfortunately, they have done away with the split chimney and now it's a one-piece chimney like this. And that really bums me out. The Goblin Minis were great, but they were great because they were really easy to wick, and the wicking method was really effective. And now, you kind of have to go old school and snip and stuff and snip and stuff and snip and stuff it down into there, and there's 4 little slots where you stuff your wicks down in there. Kind of bumming me out. So what I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to wick this. I'm going to fill it up with some juice. I'm probably going to be filling it up with some Rich Kids of Instagram, or maybe even, remember this? Remember the VHS from Bonsai Vapors? I've been craving this again. Yeah, I've been craving that again. I think I'm going to throw that in there. So let me wick this real fast. Yep, so that's the deck. That's my build. Then you have to wick it like a traditional boring old RTA. You have to stuff your wicks down to tiny little holes on the side, and then you can see where the juice is going to come in. There's like an empty chamber underneath, and then your juice is going to go in that slot right there and hopefully get to your wicks and hopefully wick it up good. I'm really disappointed that they changed the design of this chimney, and I'm disappointed that they changed the design of it inside overall. So yeah, there it is. There it's wicked, and it wasn't super difficult. It was, I don't know, just a little bit more time consuming. The troll doll technique is just so much quicker overall and so much easier to do and just so much more consistent with how it wicks. It's much better that way. Anyway, let's juice it and fill it. So I got it all wicked up. I got it all juiced up. Let's have a vape on it. First thing I notice is the airflow is much smoother than it was in the past. There is little to no turbulence happening. Really nice smooth airflow. So this is a 0.27. I have it set to 61 watts. Let's give it a shot. Nice. Okay, really nice. The one thing that the Goblin Mini tanks are really good for is flavor. This has excellent flavor, and I'm actually getting a nice warm vape into my mouth hole. I'm not a huge fan of this dinky tiny little drip tip on there, but I like it. It keeps it small. The Goblin Minis have always been like a low pro little tank, just a low profile, short, squatty little tank, and I think it actually looks really cool on this Lost Vape Therion DNA 75. It's great because it's a dual 18650 and I can rock it at 61 watts. No weak battery warnings. Good. It's really good. One thing that they include in the kit is this extension. So it's going to look wonky, but if you wanted to, you can extend the tank. As it stands, this is like a 2.5 mil tank, and you can extend it to be a 3.5 mil tank by adding this on top of it. So it's basically just a spacer type of situation where you plug this on and then you plug the cap on top of it, and it makes your tank about that much taller, which is weird. I much prefer, I'll sacrifice capacity if I can have a lower profile tank. There's some tanks that are just tall and gigantic and really tall, and you're like, yeah, I mean, I'm getting a 4 mil tank now, but it's so tall, it's like it's not even worth it. I like it. I was really skeptical, man. Really skeptical of the Goblin Mini V3. Turns out that I'm actually really enjoying the vape I get from this. The flavor is really worth it, and having to wick it in a non-troll doll way, it's not as big a pain in the ass as I thought it was going to be. It was actually pretty simple, and the vape I'm getting is great. It seems to be wicking pretty well. I don't see any juice being where it's not supposed to be. Obviously, like with all my first impressions and like with all my freaking RTAs, what I'm going to do with this tank is leave it in my bathroom sink, right side up, overnight. Just to do it and have it be overnight and not, leak all over my desk or leak all the same that had just happened with that new, it's why it's not in the first impressions. It's because it's all broken down and dismantled now. But there's a new Geek Vape, the Amit tank, which is cool. It's got a cool single post deck in there. I can't figure out how to wick it. I've wicked it 3 different times now, and each single time it has left a puddle of juice around my mod and all over my mod. In fact, it left stripes on that green stabilized Axis vapes, which is somewhere. It left a stain. It left a stripe stain of juice on the outside of that stabilized wood. But Goblin Mini V3, let's get back on track. Enjoying it. Ha ha! Thankfully, my old school dot mod drip tip still fits in there like a champion. Enjoyment of this tank just went way, way up. The stock drip tip sucks really bad. Dang. All right, Goblin Mini V3, you proved me wrong. I was all super skeptical about you, and now I actually kind of really like you. So yeah, Goblin Mini V3, I'll post a link down in the description to originvape.com. You can pick it up for like $29, $30. They have a range. It says $29.99 to $31.99, but I don't know what options there are. Oh, so the black one obviously is going to be more expensive. The black one's $31. The stainless steel is $20. So the stainless steel is $30. The black is $32. $2 difference. I much prefer the stainless steel. It looks cool on this mod. I like this. This could be my drive to ECC setup right here. So yeah, what's next on the list? Oh, this RDA. Oh, this RDA. This RDA is a weird RDA. This came to me from APVlab. This is the CLN RDA, and it's kind of Aeolus-y. Like, it's got slots all around the top, and the airflow goes in and then down and then kind of right at your coils. It's really interesting. From the outside, it's not much to look at. Like the video I uploaded on Wednesday, from the outside, that Lynx RDA isn't much to look at. Same thing here. Outside, it's not much to look at. It uses its own unique sized drip tip, so I can't put anything else in there as much as I wish I could because I don't enjoy the way that drip tip looks particularly, but the airflow is a little turbulent, but mostly swooshy, and I'm getting a really good flavor. I'm vaping Fairy Wings, which, if you're watching this, Mecha 101, Mr. Tony, I need all the Fairy Wings. I need the largest bottle of Fairy Wings that someone could ever make for me. I freaking love this juice. It's a taro coconut milk, and holy crap, it's delicious. And it just tastes really good in this CLN. So you're not going to be able to appreciate this deck unless we go full uppy closey. But basically, I'm going to pop the drip tip off. We take off this airflow ring. This is where the airflow comes in. It's like a serrated ring. And then you can kind of see on the top, nope, we're zooming in. So you see on the top right here, that's where your airflow comes from. And when you twist the barrel of it, it opens and closes that airflow. Wait, let's try it this way. Yep, do you see it closing? Now it's closed off, opens back up, close it back off, and then now is when you start twisting your atomizer off of it. But we're not going to go there just yet, so we're going to screw this down, and if you keep screwing, airflow open, then airflow closed, then airflow back open. It's really easy to feel where you're adjusting your airflow because, you know, screwed down and all the way clockwise is full open. So if you wanted to close it off a little bit without having to pull the top off and look at this, you can just go boom, I'm just gonna close it, just a little bit, maybe just like that, or just boom, open it back up. Let's take a look at this. You screw this back on, and now I know that these are all lined up with the holes underneath and that the holes underneath are full open. So in order to get this top cap off, you're gonna rotate it counterclockwise until it's all the way stopped. So you know that that's as far as it'll go before you start unscrewing it from the device. So we're gonna screw it down all the way up. So you open it counterclockwise, and then when you get to this point, you can lift it off. There's little channels, boop, right there. And then that's your deck, and it's a 2-post deck. It honestly kind of reminds me of the Tugboat V3. Like, the post holes are really low, so you have to put your wires in there and then sort of lift them up. And then that's where your airflow goes in, and it goes up right at your coils. It's a super reduced chamber on the inside. It's got bottom airflow. The damn thing doesn't leak. It has one O-ring there, and that's works great. I mean, it works really nice. It keeps all of the juice away from the bottom of it. But yeah, that's just the build I have in there now. Simple fused Clapton going in there. You wick it like an RDA, just cotton goes down to the side. You've got airflow coming right up and underneath your coils. Makes for some really delicious flavor. I've been loving it. I've been loving this juice, and I've been loving this atomizer quite a bit. So what I'm gonna do is post a link down in the description to apvlab.com where you can pick up the CLN RDA if you're so interested. 49 bucks. That's it. 49 bucks for a really nice RDA. This RDA, along with the Lynx RDA, are already well on their way to becoming some of my favorite RDAs, possibly of the year. Let's look at the quick overview. Here at APVlabs, we brought innovation to a whole new level with our CLN RDA. It is designed with a peace of mind for the advanced user and changes the game for those who drip. The dripper comes packed with the following patents in our design: adjustable lock sleeve, ASL inner air chamber, AIC and adjustable airflow sleeve, AAS. Here are a few details on how we came about mastering these unique features. Oh, and then there's a novel on how this thing works. Well, anyway, regardless, the CLN is cool. It is really cool, and it comes in much cooler colors than I got. That gold one is super dope. That coffee brown one, that is super dope. Anyway, I'm loving the CLN. Like with all my first impressions, I'm going to spend a lot more time with this RDA. It was a little bit fiddly to build, and that I didn't enjoy building it. Really easy to wick. Kind of a bummer to build, only because the post holes are just at or slightly below the level of the overall deck. So you kind of have to do that old school thing. Remember on the Tugboat V1 how you had to like scoop your leads in? You kind of have to do that same thing here, except it's only a 2-post design. So you're scooping, and then you have leads, and it was just a little bit of a time-consuming process to get this all built, but I'm glad I went through it. It's easy to wick, and I really, really love the vape I'm getting from this. So yeah, the CLN RDA from APVlabs. I'll post a link down in the description. I got 2 more things. How about that? It is officially way too vapey in here. I'm gonna open a window for a little bit and let this air out. Okay. Wow, that's so much better. Anyway, what we're going to be talking about, second to last thing here in the first impressions segment of the Thursday vlog here on Thursday vlog day. I don't know what I'm doing. This is a thing from Segeli, and I can't pronounce it because it's Evaya. I don't know what word that is. Evia, the Segeli Evia 66, got a really nice display right there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's all multicolored, and it has a temperature, and it shows you your battery life in green, and it says I'm in power mode. I have it set to 53 watts, 0.28 ohms, 3.8 volts. I've taken 163 puffs on this. It's a nice, smooth sort of soft metal material on here. Let's see if this is stainless steel. The website doesn't say. The website does not say what it is, but I'm assuming from the weight of it that it could be stainless steel, and it's a very soft sort of, I don't know, it's really interesting. It's a really soft metal on there, and then it's got this stabilized wood and acrylic face on there. The whole of it is metal except for the very front, and they come in, some of them look really cool, like the wood acrylic combo faceplate. Some of them look really cool. This one I really like. It does look nice. I like that it has light wood mixed with dark orange acrylic in there, if you can see that. But some of them, I'm looking on the website, and there's one that's this same silver color, but it's like a medium wood combo with like this blue acrylic. It reminds me of Ruby Roo's Axis Vapes M17 that looks like the ocean. It just looks like water washing over sand. That's kind of what this reminds me of. Some of them are really, I don't know, some of them are really cool looking. Unfortunately, I don't know the price of this particular device. Okay, it looks like Element Vape has them in stock right now. The Sigelei Evia 66. It's a single 18650 device, 49 bucks. Dude, bro, that's a pretty screaming deal. 49 bucks for this. I have it topped with the Coil Art Mage GTA, which we're going to talk about in a second. The buttons are clicky. Both buttons are clicky. I like that it adjusts it. Oh no, it doesn't. That's right, this doesn't. It adjusts it in 0.1 watt increments, which I hate. That's like the bane of my existence in mods. But I've got this set to 53 watts. It's a rockin' little vape. One of the things that's weird about this, and I understand why they did it, I just wish that they hadn't done it, is on the back plate where it says Sigelei, right? It says Sigelei right here. The I, and then the vertical part of the E, and then the vertical part of the L, and then the last I on the end are hollow. So when you take your battery out, there's slots there. So I can see the battery I have in here, and I don't know if that's for venting or to keep your battery, you know, at a lower temperature when you're using it, and this, that, and the other. It's just kind of interesting, and it's kind of an eyesore. Like when I look at it, I wish that those weren't there, and I wish I understood why those were even there in the first place. Like I said, I'm assuming it's to keep down like the temperature of your battery, or in case, you know, in the unlikely event that you have some sort of battery failure, that it would be able to vent out of those little holes. Little screw on the bottom, little USB in the front. I've used this for charging, but I'm assuming it's for firmware updates or custom logos or something in the future. I've been having a great little time with this. I said this in at least 1,000 videos, but there is a very, very special place in my heart for like 80 watt single 18650 devices. Those are the devices that I generally run RTAs on, because these are the devices that I'm taking with me when I leave the house, and it's warm. Like, it's suddenly warm in here. Oh, much better. But yeah, these are the devices that I am leaving the house with. Like, if I have to run to Trader Joe's and get some groceries, or I gotta go up to a rock show, or we're going out to the tiki bar, or something like that, I'll leave the house with an RTA and a single 18650 device. I can just, boom, pop it in my pocket, vape it whenever I want to vape it, and they're great. I'll always have a single 18650 device for RTAs in my arsenal, and this one looks really nice. There's even this like stripe of blue in here. I'm gonna try, okay, one last zoom in time. I just wanna show you this faceplate, the wood and the acrylic with the orange and like the little blue stripe. I think it looks really neat. See the faceplate on this? Doesn't that just look cool? It's like light wood at the bottom and then orange and then the blue through the middle. I just think that, I don't know, I just think that looks really cool. And while we're up here, let's get a look at that display. It's all brightly colored, 53 watts. It has the temperature and the power mode and then your battery indicator. It's a really nice, overall really nice display. But really, I just wanted you to see that wood. Do you see the dark blue in there? Maybe if the display turns off, we'll be able to see it better. See that dark blue stripe that kind of goes through the middle of it? Anyway, I just thought this looked really pretty, looks really nice. So yeah, Sigelei Evia, E-V-A-Y-A. What does that even say? What does that mean? Evia 66, Evia 60, Evia 66. Anyway, been enjoying it. Let's talk about this Coil Art Mage GTA real fast as well. I'm not gonna lie, I have been having a straight up love affair with this Coil Art Mage GTA. I'm a huge fan of the Mage RTA, and this is similar to that. It's a similar vape experience. It's got nice airflow, but it's a little bit turbulent. If I had to find a gripe with this right now, it's that it is interesting to fill up and it's got pretty turbulent airflow. Pretty turbulent, loud airflow. You can kind of even hear the turbulence. But, and I know people are going to say I'm exaggerating on this, the flavor, bro. The flavor of this tank, it's unbelievable. It's probably, out of everything I have in front of me right now, with the exception of maybe the Hadley, this is the best flavor. I've got normal view in here from the Grimm Green Signature line, and it tastes flawless. It just tastes so beautiful out of this tank. And it's a GTA, which is now a new thing, I guess. There was RTAs, RDTAs, and now the GTA, which I don't know what that means. It's basically an RTA, but the deck is raised. So it's kind of like an RTA and an RDTA had this like weird love child where the deck is like right in the middle of the tank. And if I tilt it like this and look, I can see my wicks coming out the bottom. See how there's like this silver stripe in the middle? That's the deck. And then your wicks come down into the tank and then you fill the whole tank up. And the reason I say it's interesting to fill is because it's interesting to fill when you unscrew this top part, which I can do right now without really any worries of flooding in there. This is not something that floods. I mean, I have had zero leaking or flooding issues, but you have two kidney shaped holes up here and you squeeze your juice in there. And what happens is the juice kind of goes down and then fills up along the top and then slowly like works its way down and then fills in all the gaps. I find myself having to fill this twice in one sitting. Like I'll be like, oh, my tank is empty, which I have vaped this fucking completely dry on many occasions. And I'll go, blah, and I'll fill it up to the top and then I'll just wait. And I'll wait for all the juice that I just filled up to like slowly work its way down around the chimney, around the body of that deck, fill in all the area underneath and air bubbles go bloop, 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 and then you go blah, and you fill it up the rest of the way. It's interesting. It's just interesting, but God, it's such a good vape. And I know I have this all built, but the deck is also really nice. This is a single coil deck, and it's a lot like the Watofo Serpent 25mm, meaning that you build a coil with leads going off in opposite directions, and then you just place it in the slots and you screw in the screws, and it just sits there perfectly right in the middle. And then they have little notches cut out for you to push your wicks in, and then you put it all together. It's really effortless. I built this and wicked this, and I was vaping this faster than most RTAs that I get. I'm kind of having a little bit of a love affair with this Mage GTA right now. It's so easy to build, so easy to wick, and I was skeptical. You know what I mean? I approach all the vape stuff I get with a lot of skepticism. I always say the same thing. I'm skeptical, but optimistic. I was really skeptical of this. I'm like, how's that going to work? There's no O-ring and the juice is going to go through the threads and it's going to flood and blah, blah, blah. The only gripe I have with this is the airflow is turbulent. That's the one thing I can fault this on. Everything else works flawlessly. The fit and finish, unbelievable. The deck, super easy to build on. Wick it like a champ, screw it all together, fill it up, and you're vaping. And like I said, the flavor. Normal View has never tasted better as it does in this Mage GTA. So good, so freaking good. I'm going to post a link down in the description to coilart.net where you can pick this up. $38.99. That's it. $38.99. So good. So good. Obviously, as with all my first impressions, I am going to spend a lot more time with this. I have already spent a lot of time with this, so I have a feeling this is going to get into the Tuesday Bro Tuesday queue very, very quickly. I have been loving this. I'm going to take it with me to ECC. I'm going to really put it through its paces. I'm going to put some more builds on there, re-wick it again, fill it up with different juices, go through that whole process again, do a complete breakdown and cleaning and put it all back together. I personally, it's not enough just to give my opinion on something. Like right now I can say, yeah, this Mage Coil Art GTA is great. Yeah, right now this Goblin Mini V3, it's great. Yeah, right now this Freak Show version 2, it's great. It's important to me to spend a lot of time with something because you never know when something might happen. Issues happen. Maybe the O-rings on here are just awful and the first time you go to clean them, they all break. That could be a thing. Maybe this chimney is really easy to cross thread and the first time I did it, I just got lucky, but the second time I do it, I accidentally cross thread it. Like that's a really easy thing to happen. Things can always happen. I really like to see the longevity of things. Granted, 38 bucks isn't a lot to spend. It's not going to break the bank. So if this lasts 3 or 4 months, then I feel like that's a pretty good deal, but I want it to last longer than that. You know what I mean? I want to see how long these things last. So I'm going to spend a lot more time with this. Like I said, I'm probably going to take this to ECC. Maybe apart from the Goblin Mini V3, this might be my car thing. Like I might take both of these in the car. Double toot. Cranberry orange sugar cookie of normal view does not mix well with the sour red raspberry red vine of that VHS juice. But anyway, let's wrap this first impressions up. We're done. Let's get out of here. We're done with the first impressions. I'll have links down to everything down in the description to this video. What I want to do right now is, oh, that's right. Let's retro vape. Oh man, I am excited about this retro vaping. So what I got to retro vape today, this is the Ambassador LE that was from Emit Vapor. I remember back in the day, RJ Vapes sent me the Ambassador and then the Ambassador LE. And Emit Vapor, I don't know where the crap they went, but they used to make some of my favorite mech mods of all time. They did not release a clunker. Every mod, pardon me, what the crap? Every mech mod they released, I really, really enjoyed. And even getting this out and holding it and feeling that button on the bottom, so nice and smooth. Such a nice little throw there, and it's got a locking thing so you can lock it and it won't fire. And this deck up here is a 4-post deck that I recently rebuilt. In fact, on Instagram, I posted a picture of this deck and said, can anybody guess what that is? Nobody got it. People were saying the Vulcan. People were saying, what else? What else? The Plume Veil. People were guessing all sorts of stuff. No, it is the Emit Vapor Ambassador LE Hybrid Top Cap, meaning that the deck is machined directly into the top of the tube. Much like that, you know, the new Kennedy Ruby or something like that. This is machined directly in here. The bummer part is, as I was building this, my center post spun on me. Spun on me good. It's just all tilted and crooked now, but I got these firing evenly and I wicked them as well. And I even got the airflow, the adjustable airflow on top to just be 2 holes. And it is a very tight, restricted lung hit. It's crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a battery in here and then I'm going to throw some juice on here. And it's funny because if you go back and watch my original Ambassador 266650 Ambassador LE hybrid video, which I will be linking to down in the description, when I go to the uppy closey portion, you can see a quad coil in there. And to me, it looks like a 26 gauge, like 4-wrap quad coil in there. When I pulled this mod out of storage, that same exact 2-year-old build was on it. Still wicked, still juicy with whatever fucking gross juice had been sitting on those coils for 2 months. So I had no choice. I had to take that build out of it. I wanted to vape that original build I put in it, that quad coil. I wanted to vape it more. But I looked at it and I was so grossed out that I was like, no, bro, we're not going to vape that. So I did a 22 gauge Anarchist nichrome wire around a 4mm post. I did a dual 8 wrap on here, wicked it up nice and good. I'm going to be trying out this juice peach sour rings from Sour Licks that I've never tried before, and it just looked all interesting sitting there in my juice cabinet. So I'm gonna get this all juiced up. Oh, that ramp up time though. The juice smells delicious, and yeah, pressing the button, huge ramp up time on here. This is the reason why we used to purge mech mods back in the day, is to deal with that ramp up time. So let's give it a shot. I got a brand new build in here. This is a 2-year-old, or it's actually about a 2.5-year-old single 26650 mech mod. I have one of those good iJoy, 26650 batteries on the inside. I'm really interested to see how this vapes. That ramp up time is already, I know it's already going to be a bummer. I'm going to have to purge this for a day before I take one toot. But we're going to try it right now without even purging. Still vapes, and the flavor is shockingly good on it. Now let's actually try it with purging. Wow. This is a throaty juice. Combine a throaty juice with a very tight airflow, and it's gonna make Mr. Grimm Green cough every single time. I can't believe it. I can't believe that this is this good of a vape right now. Good. This is a shockingly good little retro vape. I remember loving this thing back in the day. I mean, just absolutely loving it. I took my original Ambassador 26650 with me to ECC in 2014, which was, I don't even want to talk about ECC 2014, but I had a great time there. You know what I mean? But I remember I took that Guns Blazin' 26650 mech mod. I think all I brought with me were mech mods back in 2014. But here we are in 2016, vaping the Ambassador LE from Emit Vapor. If anybody knows anything about Emit Vapor, what happened to them, someone bought them, or they sold or folded or went over or went under, let me know, because I really liked their mech mods and I would love to see them make some more mech mods. Unbelievable. This is actually a really good vape. Anyway, just a real quick retro vaping segment there. I'm going to post a link down in the description to my original Ambassador 26650 Ambassador LE hybrid video. You'll have to forgive me for being so boring. This was once upon a time before I edited any of my videos. I just shot it and I was like, that's good. That's fine. That's probably fine to just upload to YouTube. I leave all my like uhs and ums, and I'm like sneezing, and I'm like talking really slow, and I'm like talking really faintly. Like I used to be like, yeah, so here we are. We're gonna vape this thing, and here's how it goes. Anyway, times change, we improve, we improvise, we adapt, and we move forward. So last thing on the docket is a real quick review for a thing that never got a review. Reviews for things that never got reviews. So I wanted to show you this deck on this RDA. This is the Sleeper RDA from Beyond Vape Aria built, and I just wanted to show you how fucking fantastic this deck is. Are you kind of getting an idea of how it works? So the stainless steel, the silver, is obviously the negative post, and then this brass gold color over here is the positive post, and it's a postless deck. There's just holes, but then there's screws that kind of come in at an angle. Do you see how they're angled down like that? If I can keep it in focus, do you see there's the deck, and then they're angled down. It's so incredibly easy. I just took 2 M-Turk aliens and just snipped them and dropped them down in there, tightened them down, and got this beautiful build on there. And what's great is when you wick it and you have all this space over here. All this space over here for your wicks to fall in. Let me show you it wicked. It's probably one of the easiest, fastest build and wicks that I've ever experienced. This deck is freaking genius, and the way that you wick it is so easy. And then best of all, when you pop your airflow on, you have this big airflow right here, and this just goes on here, and you can line it up directly with your coils. And then this part pops off so you can paint your coils or blé or juice. But you see how the airflow right there lines up directly with your coils? Then you have your adjustable airflow right here. 10 times out of 10, I'm rocking it full open, but it's really easy to just adjust your airflow, close it down, open it up. It's unbelievable. This deck is unbelievable, and there's even a single coil option. So you have dual, and then a single coil option as well. So let's juice this and talk about it a little bit more. So I'm gonna juice this up with some RKOI, Rich Kids of Instagram from Coil Spill. Just a really freaking delicious juice. And one of my favorite things about this atomizer, apart from the really nice big open airflow, and apart from the brilliant deck that is so easy to build, and the amazing juice well that is so easy to wick, you can just bleh your juice all over the place. So those M-Turk coils came out to about 0.13, and this is a rare build that I'll actually rock at 100 watts. The flavor on this RDA, it's fine. It's not great. If there was like a 1 to 10 scale, it would be like a solid 6.5. You will be able to taste your juice, and the flavor on it is fine. Full open, it's a cloud chasing atomizer. Like I said, this is 0.13 at 100 watts. So many clouds, bro, clouds. And you can even, look, I'll just turn this down just a little bit. Still, same effect. This is a really, really great atomizer. For one reason or another, when I was transitioning to my Tuesday Bro Tuesday, this kind of fell by the wayside. It never really got a full review, and I didn't start the queue with it, and it kind of just never made it to video, but it is a fucking awesome atomizer. It is just good. It just works. It's really well built. The deck is genius. I mean, I wish I had invented this deck. I wish I could just steal this deck and re-release the atomizer. Like, here's the Grimm Green atomizer, because it's the best. It's one of the best decks I've ever used to build on. It's so easy. Beyond Vape has these in stock, I believe. In stock right now, you can get it in black for 70 bucks. Aria Vape, Anarchist, Beyond Vape, there's too many names on this. The Sleeper RDA. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. I did a first impressions of this a long time ago, and now it's just good. It's just a really good RDA. I really, really enjoy this RDA. So yeah, if you got 70 bucks to spend, obviously you should buy a recoil RDA, and if you already own a recoil RDA, buy a sleeper RDA. It's just really good. That Lynx, the recoil, and the Goon are probably gonna round out like my favorite atomizers of the year. Like, I love this RDA. Definitely coming very highly recommended from me. And I apologize, it's never been on video before. It didn't get its own review for various reasons, but now here's what I have to say about it. It's freaking awesome. There you go. Sleeper RDA. I like this. I'm going to keep using this. In fact, as I was sitting here vaping this, I was contemplating taking this exact setup with the Sleeper RDA and this mod with Rich Kids of Instagram from Coil Spill to ECC as like one of my main vapes. I might bring that. I might bring fucking all my vape gear. I might set off freaking smoke detectors. Yeah, I set my smoke detector off, and then I had I had to air out the room. Anyway, let's end this vlog here with some of my favorite comments of the week. And these are just always a cornucopia of ignorant, terrible people. Or, you know, sometimes really funny people as well. This guy right here, Mr. Boom in Focus 66 said, "Hey Grimm, trim the beard a bit. All I see is a big talking hairy vag." Okay, that's weird. That's a weird thing to say to another man. Interestingly enough, I had another guy here who's... fuck it, I'm gonna leave his name. His name is Toll Joel. He commented and just said, "Fag." And then a guy underneath him commented and said, "Fuck my ass with your ass." What is even happening on YouTube? What is going through people's brains? Why does that exist? Someone sent me this comment of the week. Said, "Anyone else think that Nick looks like a crazy Russian hacker when he doesn't have his glasses on?" No, bro. Zombie at work? No. Do I look like a crazy Russian hacker? Crazy Russian hacker. And that was a terrible Russian accent. Remind me never to try that again. Lastly, a very nice girl named Ashley C just commented and said, "You seem gay." Okay, whatever. Who cares if I do seem gay? I'm not, but if I did, why does that even matter? Who cares? Anyway, oh, I'm so mad. I'm throwing scissors. I don't care. Let's wrap this vlog up. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let me take a quick look and see if I forgot anything, which I did not. So let's end this vlog here. Don't forget, everybody, I'm at ECC this weekend, so replies to comments and emails and the like and things on Instagram will be slower and few and far between. But I will be uploading a video every day that I'm at ECC, so that should be fun. It'll be a lot like the European adventure, except it'll be in ECC and I won't have a cool intro. Should still be fun. Should still be really fun. I'm really excited about ECC, but that's where I'll be this weekend. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget, you can always send shout-out requests. Sure. Pardon me, to nick@grimmgreen.com. I might not always reply, but they do get filed in the shout-out request folder. Don't forget, you can join me here every Tuesday, or now, I don't know, like every other Tuesday. Every Tuesday, once in a while, for Tuesday Bro Tuesday. It's a different kind of format video. We actually do reviews over there on Tuesday Bro Tuesday, as well as answer viewer mails, as well as we get to know Grimm Green a little bit, and it's a really fun little program that I do every Tuesday, so you're more than welcome to join me here every Tuesday for Tuesday Bro Tuesday. But that's what I got for today, everybody. I'm gonna grab my Boss Genesis, my Sleeper RDA, and my Coil Spill Rich Kids of Instagram, and I'm just gonna vape my face off and edit some freaking video. Thank you again so much for watching, everybody, and as always, yeah, right there, let's keep on vaping.